Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Restorations. Check this out. The Launch X431 Pro version 5 and the non-OBD2 connector box. This is all the, and I've been thinking about getting this for a while, this is all the pre-OBD2 connectors. Toyota had that half moon shaped one, and then they had some non-standard. I think GM has a 12 pin. I know I messed with some Chrysler stuff, so there's a whole lot in there, and we'll get into that. But let's go ahead and unbox both these. We'll walk you through this stuff, and then, of course, do the updates on this, take it out to a couple of cars or a car, and check it out. Let's cut her open and find out what's in it. I guess we'll go ahead and open up this first, the non-standard box here. All right, we'll open it up. And yeah, you can see, ooh, I don't even know what that one is. B20, I'm not sure. That one might be the weirdest one of the bunch, but I do recognize that. That's a Toyota. Let's see if it'll do it. It says TA17. I think this is, oh gosh, where is that? BMW or Mercedes, I think. But it's been a while since I've seen some of these. There's your GM 12 pin. I think that's the 12 pin, yeah. So that one was really similar to OBD2 in many ways. Chrysler, Dodge, probably Jeep as well. So what's that one there? Ooh, not familiar with that one. I don't know what that is. Maybe something from Ford? That is also a Toyota. And this is Mercedes, if I recall. Mercedes probably BMW as well, but oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been a while since I played with these, but I'll tell you what, you really do get access to a lot of information on the older cars, but only if you have the right stuff for it. So this is our power cable. So one of the things about the pre-OBD2 is a lot of them don't power up the tool and don't power up the system. So this is cigarette lighter or battery connector that allows you to hook into it there. Looks like we have one or two more in here. Yeah, we've got, I'm not sure what those are. There's OBD2. I'm not sure what those are, just more connector types, but oh, check it out. Hold on. Stuff that back in there for right now. Yeah, so here's what you got as far as what these fit. And this is definitely something worth keeping. Benz 38 pin, Nissan, Benz 14 pin, BMW 20 pin, Chrysler 6 pin, Ford 6+1, GM 12 pin, Honda 3 pin connector, Kia 20 pin connector, Mitsubishi 12 and 16, Toyota 17 and Toyota 22, double power clamp, cigarette lighter clamp, and a couple of fuses. So the full Monty, and it's incredible. So I had this tool here, which is the OTC Genesis, had it for many years. And one of the reasons I hung on to it, probably well past when I should have got rid of it, is because it worked so well with those older cars. Well, now Launch has given us a way for this to work on a modern tool. So I have no doubt that, that this will work a whole lot better than my old Launch or my old OTC Genesis will. All right, the main unit. And another blow molded case here. And let's go ahead and open that up. Matter of fact, I'll move this off to the side here just to get us nice and clear here. And here we go. Nice little tablet. Blow molded case for this one as well. Check it out. Launch X431 Pro V5 does have a rear-facing camera as well as a front-facing camera. Up on top here are connectors. There's USB and USB-C port right there. On this side, our power button. On this side, nothing. And on the bottom, nothing. And it's kind of cool. It's got this, I don't know how to describe it. It you know, bulges out. It's probably the battery pack for it, but it's got that kind of a different feel to it. All right, And then we'll lay that aside for a second. See what kind of material is in here. Looks like USB-C, a power cord adapter with some adapters for different markets. And then this is a Wi-Fi dongle. So we do have our OBD2 port, but it unscrews to put all those adapters on. We also have a way of plugging in power to power up the system. And so remote, wireless. It is the DBS Car 7. And there it is. Cool. Okay, well, let's get all this out of the way here for a second, and we'll fire this thing up and see what it can do. All right, let's turn this on. Nice clear screen, that's always nice. And I imagine it's going to have me go through a whole bunch of initial setup stuff. And I won't bore you with that. I'll fast forward through it when the time comes, but I did want to show you what the launch screen looks like here before we head on out to a car to check it out. Launch really has upped their game in the last couple of years. They keep up with their software. Gosh, there's updates pretty much every single day, it seems, on the other tool I have, the Pro 3S Plus. And so you can see this is not, it looks like it's not a locked Android system. So we have the ability to go in here and, add stuff to it if we want to. Let's go ahead, we'll go into settings and we'll take a look at what we have here. And the device is called the Auto Smart Diagnostic Tool. Let me tilt that down a little bit for you. And we'll see Android version is 10, so a pretty recent version here. And I don't know, does it say the... Yeah, it doesn't say, we'll see. I was wondering what kind of memory it has, but it doesn't look like it's in there. USB management, not sure what that is. And then... take a look at the system. Cool, pretty snappy, that's for sure. We'll get in here and activate our Wi-Fi. And then I'm sure it's going to want to know what that Wi-Fi is, so we'll go ahead and that's exactly what we want to do, but that'll be doing that in the background. Let's take a look at the rest of our Android setup here. So we have camera set up, Adobe Acrobat, Google Chrome, of course, File Explorer, Gmail is available, and Screen Recorder, the Play Store. And so this is where I'm sitting here going, I gotta have I want a tablet that if it's got cameras on it, if it's got all that, I want to be able to use this as an inspection tablet. This has Play Store, so I can add, Identifix has an app, or they're coming out with one. Napa and Advance and AutoZone, alldata, I mean, you name it, they all have it. We also use Shopware, which has inspection information on it, so I can install that here and get it up and running in no time. And of course, you can add, music or whatever else you want to have on there if you're buying this for yourself. As far as the shop tool goes, this thing is pretty set up for it. But if you want to have this personal, you can certainly personalize it, different background screens and all that stuff there. All right, cool. We have a software update button. Let's check to see if there's new stuff. I would imagine there is. No, that's good. So it's just come out not too far back, so that's kind of cool. And then we will go into the main app here, and it's probably going to want me to do a whole bunch of setup here, but yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, we'll go ahead and update it. See how fast she does an update. All right, so I'm not going to update everything here, but we got it to a point where we can play around and show you what we do have here as far as our programming. I'll start with the farthest away here, the other modules here. And so we have tablet settings. That gets us back into settings without leaving the actual app. File access for anything that we save. Gallery is our photos. Camera, click on that. And it is trying to see here if I can give you an idea how sharp it is, but yeah, it's going to be hard. A picture of a picture, but it's fairly clear. It also does video. And let's take a look and see, and we can get in there and watch that video if we want to. And we have settings for video quality. So we are looking at 720p. microphone here, anti-auto flicker. So it does have some functions there, but it's just telling us we can go into full HD if we want, right? So we can change that around, VGA, CIF. So we have some options there. We want the microphone to be on this one here, and anti-flicker and scene mode. So there you go. So pretty cool. That's nice. Let's get back into the program here. Gmail, of course, takes you back over to Gmail. Browser brings you over to Google Chrome, or sometimes they have their own one. Yeah, they're going to use that. So we'll get out of that. Calculator, that's kind of handy. You don't have to go anywhere else to figure it out. And we're doing our math right here. So if you needed to do like flow tests for air mass meter, something like that, they can help you out with. I'm not sure what recording master is. Probably the video. Oh, okay. So it's a screen recorder. If I wanted to record something while cruising and show it to another technician or whatnot, just another way of doing it. So instead of a video of it, you can record everything that's happening. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see. We got fax, product manual, and toolbox. Not sure what toolbox is. Oh, immobilizer programming. So this tool does do key programming and remote programming. There are, however, ones that require a special tool to do, more complicated immobilizer programming. So just so you're aware, you can use that with this device. Okay, so we're back into the main system here. User info. I can set this up where I have, we have the VCI, but it's not plugged in. I've got it off the side here. And we can activate, we can do firmware, but we have a profile. I haven't set my profile up yet, so we'll just leave that blank, but you can get into there. And then you can actually reset the entire unit if you want to. Cool. Vehicle coverage is just going to give you a ton of information as far as what all is covered by this program, but it's pretty much it. The mall is where you could buy optional features. I have found, and this was the case with the Pro 3S Plus, that when it first came out, there were some extra features, and I can't remember what they were. Maybe battery matching. We'll just use that as an example, but there were some features that weren't available on all vehicles, and you could buy it extra. As the 3+ years have gone by since I bought that thing, more and more they add those features in during updates, and you don't need to pay extra for it. They do, however, offer you could get the software package to work on Tesla, so that's one. And then there's some Chinese manufactured cars that aren't available here in the U.S. that the coverage for those are separate. So that's just stuff for you to be aware of through the mall there, and it's constantly updating as well. ADAS, self-explanatory at this point. It is compatible with ADAS systems, so if you need to do those type of alignment repairs or post-wreck repairs, that's something you can do. Feedback is a way for you to contact the manufacturer. Hey, did an update on Volvo software last month, and now there's a glitch. Whenever I try to get into a 98 model Volvo, it's not doing this. You put that in there, the engineers take a look at that, the next software update fixes that problem. Diagnostic history is exactly what it sounds like. You can be in a car and find the history of how many times you've worked on it, what it's been in for, and scans of those visits. Software update, self-explanatory. About 197 updates for this when I plugged it in, but I rolled through those in just a few minutes, or actually it took a little over an hour, but I didn't update all of them, and it'll usually show you when you update it if there's any that need to be anytime you turn the tool on. TPMS, which is nice that it has that. Service functions is all the specialty features that you have here. Then this one, the list is pretty significant. ABS bleeding, AC relearn, adaptive lighting, AdBlue reset, air fuel reset, air level calibration, crank position sensor adaptation, coolant bleed, recoding ECUs, clutch matching, brake matching, battery matching, DPF regen, EGR adaptation, electronic throttle relearn, engine power monitoring, FRM matching, I'm not sure what that one is, gas particulate filter regen, language change, intelligent cruise, injector coating, immobilizer, high voltage, gearbox, and it just goes on. I'm not going to read all these. I probably should have stopped a while ago, but you can see if there's something you need to do, chances are this tool can do it. Intelligent Diagnose, I don't use that, but it is a way of loading directly and having a third party access the tool and thereby the car and allowing them to take a look at readings. So you could pay a technician that perhaps has more experience with a certain problem to diagnose and hopefully give you the right answer when it comes to repairs. But for what we're going to do, we're going into local diagnose. I'm going to take you out. We'll sit in a Volvo here and we'll play with it. You can see you can go through all common, American, European, Asian, and Chinese. And I'll scroll slowly through here just so you understand what I mean by full coverage. And of course, every make and model is pretty much in here. And then not only that, but all the submodels and engine options are usually in here. I don't think on a launch product I have run into a car that wasn't covered. The cool part about having that adapter kit with the different pins is that we have so many options for like pre-95 cars, you know, stuff back in the 80s probably. Although I didn't see the blinky box for Volvo, that would have been a nice adapter too. And I don't think I've ever seen a kit that offered that. And so, you know, I have Mitsubishis, they're covered here. Even though they're not a huge manufacturer here in the US anymore, or a huge seller here, they do make some great products. Nissan, on the other hand, not so great. Polestar, so electric cars are included in this too. Proton, I wasn't sure they're still in business, but I guess they are overseas. Rolls-Royce is in there. Saab, what's left of them, they're gone now. Sprinter vans, of course, big here. Subaru, Suzuki, I mean, Tatas even, Toyotas, Triumph, I mean, you got it, man. VinFast, here in the US now, they're going to build a factory, or they were, and now they're dragging their feet. My guess is VinFast never builds the factory in North Carolina. I don't bet, but my best guess, if I were to bet a virtual dollar with anyone here, that's never going to happen. And of course, Volvo, Volkswagen, all the big players. All right, so let's take this thing outside. We'll hook it up to a Volvo. We'll see what it can get into, and we'll play with it a little bit. This is another awesome tool. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be disappointed when we take it outside. Let's do it. All right, here we are back in the Volvo here. I've got an 04 Volvo XC70. Check engine lights on, as all Volvos have these kind of issues. We're gonna get in here and go to Volvo, and we'll see if she can diagnose it. And so it's showing you what it can do for Volvo software. When they make updates, they'll add in stuff like this. But let's say okay, and it's gonna try to connect. I've got the dongle plugged in. Great, so it is plugged in, and we can do automatic search. So let's see what we got. I do have the car running. I'm always interested if it'll read this car. The P2 platform, a lot of scan tools choke on getting the VIN, but this one seems to have got it. And it is 01 to 07, 2004. It is a turbo. And we're going to hit OK on that. And we can do a couple things here. So we're going to do health report. It's going to read all the subsystems and let us know what's wrong. And there's stuff wrong, so we'll see. You never know. The check engine light on this car, I fixed the things that'll actually cause it to run poorly or get lower gas mileage, but I don't bother with the other stuff like evap leaks. So, since the light's on probably for an evap leak, I don't check it, but occasionally something else goes wrong. So it's always interesting to read the codes and see what's going on with this car. Central electronic module, 7 faults. One of those is probably for the dim. No, not the dim. Upper UEM, isn't that? No? Yeah, it's saying not equipped, so there's your problem. There is a UEM. Climate control also has 4 codes. That's interesting. I think I know what one of those is. This one does not. The temperature sensor for this unit is not working right. Issue with the power seat module. The driver's side seat heater's not working, so I'm interested to see what it has to say about that. Although we're in the summer months now, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'd like to have it fixed in the fall. And so you can see it is able to find every system in this car. It is not having a difficulty locating all this stuff. ECM has 3 codes. Transmission doesn't have any codes. ECM and TCM are common on this car. They share. All right, so we do have an evap system. That's a little sketchy. Brake pad or brake light, brake pedal sensor faulty signal. Oh, of course, my foot was on the brake the whole time, so that could be it. And then 928C control module communication. That I think is a throttle body issue. I'll have to double check on that, and we can look it up. If you notice over here, little Google sign, and there it is. Then it's just showing ways to fix that stuff cheaply. And there we go. So then we're going to roll through the rest. The rest of these are okay. So we can build a report, and we're going to call it pre-repair. We're going to say okay, and it's going to build it. And if I want to, I can email this to someone. I put my information in here, and I send it off to a customer, to the service writer at the shop, whoever I want to, I can do that too. And we even have the ability, because a tool like this is likely, you're either a really good mechanic who's moving up in life, or you are a shop owner, small shop owner. And if that's the case, this is going to be something that the techs share. This has a way of adding multiple technicians so that we know who's working on what car. It helps with workflow in a shop. All right, we're going to get out of there. And you can see it's this nice thing. And this is exactly what they get here. Shop name, address, telephone number, technician. And here's how many miles are on it. You know, here's all the information on the car. And here are the codes we found. And there we go. And we can save that as well. We'll save that diagnostic report here. Cool. All right, let's get out of this and get out. Let's look at the ECM. So we hit enter now. We can go directly into it. Of course, you can also manually go in. You don't have to run this test, but I could read the fault codes again. There might be some more information if I go directly into this, like freeze frame, stuff like that, but I believe you'll find freeze frames ever also. So here we go. We have code search, which brings us back right to Google again. And then we have help. That's their version. Hey, look at this. These are things to know. This will happen if this happens. That'll happen if that happens. So it gives us a if-then, which is how basic programming on old school computers worked. If this happens, then do this. That's the logic of the computer. And it even says possible sources, so places to look. So without even going on Google, and let's be honest, although I love going out and doing a Google search, forums are not a great place to find accurate information when doing repairs on cars. Identifix is, but this isn't Identifix. So just be aware of that, right? So we have all those codes in there, and let's see what help comes up with there. Steering wheel module, central electric module, cruise doesn't work, right? That's what it's saying for that one. Okay, so let's get into, let's go into special functions and see what we got here. We can reset the adaptation of the throttle. That's a big deal. We can do intake, camshaft, solenoid control test, and exhaust as well to see, hey, are they cycling or are they working? Now the vehicle's on, so I don't want to do that with this car, but you can. Fuel tank, if we're questioning, this has the saddle tank. If we're questioning whether or not the fuel gauge is accurate, this is one way to do it. I made some videos actually on replacing fuel pumps, and I get a lot of codes for, or a lot of people commenting about, hey, you know, I replaced my fuel pump, now everything reads half tank, you know. So we also have readiness codes. Clearly this one ain't gonna be right. All right, let's get into some other stuff here. Let's see, let's get into the passenger door module. And let's do an actuation test here. Window up switch, window down switch. Let's see if we can do that. And we'll tilt the camera up to the window. Press the start button. And it says actuation test finished. If I want to go back up, we'll get out of that. And we will do window motor up. And there it goes. So a lot of diagnostics that you can do with these things here, and most of it has to do with, hey, just verifying, does this stuff work? This computer, this scan tool gets deep. As you can see, defrost for the mirror. We can move the mirror around if we needed to. So the ability to get into each door here, actuate windows, actuate mirrors, actuate seats. And then there's, of course, specialized stuff like on these cars, you replace a window motor and it'll want to go all the way up and then kind of come back down an inch. we reinitialize it with this scan tool as well. So that's just simple stuff there. Data stream, let's see here. I want to know, does the window go down? Window motor down and window motor down switch, window motor up and window motor. So I'm going to go OK. And we're going to take a look at that. And now when I use the switch here, you can see window motor down and window motor up. Of course, I'm using the driver's side, so the switches are not activating, right? But there you go. That's how easy that is. So we can diagnose, hey, is this switch working or is the window motor not working? All from our seats, man. And that's what makes these tools really cool. All right. No, I don't want to end it. I just want to get out of this. All right, let's get out of that. All right, let's see what else we can look at. Let's take a look at ECM and we'll see if there's anything special in there. Special function. We've kind of already looked at that, but let's take a look at some data stream stuff here. Accelerator pedal. Let's see. Well, we can see if our brake light switch is working. And coolant temp shouldn't really be moving much. Engine speed. And fuel pump pressure maybe. Injection time maybe. We're going to get a lot of these things in here. Man, it even has oil level. I don't think this has oil level, but it's showing it as it is. And throttle angle from ETM. That's quite a few things. Let's see how quickly it responds to that. Pedal sensor. Definitely moving around. Brake light switch. Oh my gosh, I have a bat. Oh, there it goes on. Okay. I was going to say, man, that's kind of scary. Finding out the hard way. Degrees of Celsius, 86. Engine's RPM. Moving right up and down. Fuel pressure, you can see that moving. Injection time. And lambda control, right now we're not doing anything. We're in overload. No support on this. Yeah, I didn't think they had an oil level sensor. And then the last one here, throttle angle from ETM. And we can also look at these things as a graph if you want to look at it that way. And you can see response time. When I had all those streams up, it wasn't great, but when I have it just like this, it's very good. All right, let's take a look at something else we could see happen rapidly. Yeah. It's hard to say with where you're sitting, but the reaction time on that is pretty much immediate. So definitely a fast enough processor in this thing. All right, I think that's it. Let me see if there's anything else. Where you really get into some cool stuff here would be into, let's try drivers, would be if you could change like the amount of time the lighting stays on and that. And so we can do some of that stuff. You can see testing displays, programming service time, programming. We could literally set the clock, trip computer preference, park brake warning preferences, programming the audible acknowledgement of the seatbelt. Nobody wants to hear seatbelt ding at them. So we can go ahead and turn that off. And we're going to turn it off. And now our seatbelt reminder has been deactivated. So that's how easy that is. I guess that'll do it, man. I'm going to go ahead and we'll get out of this all the way together. It's kind of a long video, but this is also kind of a pretty complicated tool. You can see on this particular one what it has going on as far as that. So it's quite a bit there. And it's going to beep. That little alarm there is reminding us to unplug the VCI so the customer doesn't drive down the road with the dongle still hooked to the OBD2 connector. Awesome. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's the X431 Pro, and it's V5. Like this, they've updated this tool several times. I remember the first time I looked at this, it was V3. It was V4 up until around Christmas time here in the US, and now they have released V5. It's a newer Android system. I assume by the speed that this thing's churning along, it's probably a new processor, a whole new tablet inside of this thing, although I don't know. And then, of course, the software constantly being updated. So pretty awesome, my friends. Take care.